Hi, and welcome back to the Positivity Keys podcast. I'm Laura Allen, and today we're having a very real conversation. Let me ask you, has someone ever let you down so deeply that it shook your ability to trust? Not just in them, but in people altogether, maybe even yourself. If that hits close to home, you're not alone. And in fact, that space after trust has been broken can feel more painful than the actual event itself. It's the silence, the questioning, the second guessing. You're going to find yourself building invisible walls, guarding your energy, playing it safe. And that might be necessary for a time, but eventually those walls stop keeping the pain out and start keeping love out too. I've been there. I've had moments where I thought, I'm just better off keeping people at a distance. But all that really did was leave me feeling lonelier. And honestly, less like myself. Because deep connection, real presence, vulnerability, that's who I am. That's who you are too. In today's episode, I'm going to share what it looked like to begin trusting again after a season of emotional self-protection. I'm going to walk you through a mindset shift that opened the door, how the intention key played a quiet but powerful role, and offer 3 gentle ways to begin softening your heart without sacrificing your boundaries. So let's talk about the slow, sacred return to trust. There was a time when I found myself holding everyone, and I mean everyone, at arm's length. Not out of anger, not even out of fear, but because I didn't know if I could go through another letdown. I was a person who kept the conversation light, the answers surface level, and the energy kind, but super guarded. And if you asked how I was doing, I'd smile and I'd say, I'm good. Even when I wasn't, I was anything but that. And I was afraid to be vulnerable and I was afraid to be judged. I felt like it wasn't safe, but it was also really incredibly lonely. Then one day I was sitting across from a friend, someone who meant a lot to me, and we were talking about something super mundane, work, laundry, I can't even remember, weekend plans or something. And then in the middle of my polite answer, she looked at me and she said, you don't have to pretend. I'm still right here. Whoa, that broke something. It broke it wide open. And that was the first time that I understood what it meant to offer trust. Not because the situation is perfect, but because the connection is super worth it. I didn't suddenly start trusting everybody overnight, for sure, but I did set an intention. I will not let old pain close my heart to new people. That's the intention key. You don't have to know exactly how trust is going to return. You just have to want it to. That intention becomes the first soft light in the dark, and it guides your energy, your choices, your openness. And slowly, gently, you start to breathe again. You know, rebuilding trust isn't about erasing your past. It's about moving forward with a wiser heart. Maybe some small boundaries, but open. Here's what I learned about trusting again. Go slowly. Let people earn your tenderness, not because you're withholding, but because you're honoring yourself. And acknowledge the fear, because you don't have to ignore it. You can say, hey, this is scary, but I'm trying. And that honesty itself is the first step toward trusting yourself to be more open, trusting others, and choose softness on purpose. It's easy to be guarded, but choosing to stay open, that's your strength. You're not broken. If trust is hard for you, you're really healing. And healing is allowing yourself to be messy, non-linear, and full of pauses. And let's get one thing straight. You might have setbacks with people. Sometimes people act in ways that are unbecoming. That might not be your people. Finding people that are supposed to be in your circle of influence, in your tribe, it takes time. Now, that doesn't mean quit. That just means, it doesn't mean stop trying. It means that they're there. Amazingly good people are out there. The ones that were going to love you for you and support you and things that you want to be aligned in your life. So if someone doesn't say the right things or hurt you in a manner that you think doesn't work for you, it's okay to step back. Do it with grace. Don't be mean about it. Maybe that's just not your person. And then here's 3 gentle ways to begin trusting again. Share one honest sentence in a conversation this week. Say something that's just 10% more honest than you usually would. Something like, that was actually hard for me, or I'm still figuring that out, but that'll be enough. Set a safe intention each morning. Say, I'm open to a trustworthy connection today. You're not forcing anything. You're just aligning yourself with the possibility. And then number 3, write a letter. Maybe it's one that you don't send. Choose someone that you've stopped trusting. Maybe that someone is even yourself. Write what you never said. Burn it, keep it, rip it up. The healing is in the release of the process. And if you're in a season of guardedness, I see you. I've been you. And I want you to know you are still worthy of connection. Try one of these practices this week. Tag me in your reflections, or post a line from your journal using @PositivityKeysTrust. You never know who your courage might encourage. So next week, we're going to explore how to trust when the future feels uncertain and when you're doing everything right and still can't see the results yet. Until then, be kind with yourself. You're doing sacred work here. Thanks for listening. Thank you for being you and trusting me with your time. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next week.